And that was probably a long-winded way of saying like Real allows us as a team to focus on our production.
Yeah, I'm just going to cut out everything you just said. I'll just put that one sentence in.
Just cut right to that. Yeah.
While Real Broker offers solo agents incredible splits, revenue opportunities, and equity ownership, if you are on a team or a team leader thinking about joining Real, you're probably wondering if Real Broker is also good for teams. And so in this video, I've got Chris Davis with me, who is the team leader for Places in Maine, an incredible team up in the Portland, Maine market, to talk about how Real has helped his team grow and even given him some incredible advantages over other brokers in the area. So let's go ahead and jump right into it.
Chris, man, so good to have you on again. Tell us a little bit about yourself and the team that you guys have up there in the Portland, Maine area.
Awesome. Yeah, Cam, thanks so much for having me. These are so fun. So I run a team in Maine called Places in Maine. I've been a broker now for 5 years, and I got to a point in my own production in my career where people were starting to ask me questions about how to get into real estate, and some really close friends wanting to be like, you seem really happy in what you do. I don't have that happiness in my job. Like, can you talk to me about being a realtor? And so after having a few of those conversations and getting to a point in my business where I was ready to share more of it in terms of leads and stuff like that, I made the decision to start a team. And so Places in Maine was the idea that came to mind as I want to represent all the amazing places in Maine that I love. I grew up in Maine, third generation Mainer, I guess. And I tell people I've been at it hard with the team now for since the beginning of 2023. I have 3 other amazing agents, one of which is my father, which I'm incredibly grateful that he wanted to work with me.
Love that. Love that.
And I have an admin support as well.
Has Paul had his first closing yet? I think I saw something.
He hasn't had his first closing, but he did send out his first buyer agreements yesterday, 4 of them.
All right, let's go, Paul.
So it's going to happen soon, and I'm so excited for him.
I love that. I love that you have your dad working with you, and 2 other, 2 other agents, right?
Yep. Yeah. Kirk and Alex. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Yeah. You guys do. I mean, we've talked about this before. You do such an incredible job separating yourself from the rest of what is, in my opinion, a very crowded market up in that Portland area.
Thank you.
Your videos, your branding, your humor, your acting, like all of it, it really sets yourself apart. And it's really makes you unique. And I feel like that the team and the atmosphere at a company like Real kind of lends itself well to someone like yourself. How do you feel like Real kind of gives you an advantage in this for your marketing, for your team?
Yeah, great question. I'm all about experience, right? And so I'm always trying to promote and create an experience that, like, at the end of the day is just fun, right? There, a lot of what we put on social media, yes, we have closings, we travel, we have a ton of fun, but like, I've had like a ball in my tummy for the last 24 hours because there's been one transaction that's been particularly difficult, right? We don't always talk about the tough things, right? And so we have to balance out the emotional mechanics of the job. And so spreading positivity and optimism and receiving it back is just paramount to being successful in this business. And so having a team provides me with an opportunity twice a week to sit down with 3 other people who I trust with my life, who are very dedicated to the job. And we just get to talk. We get to share stories. We get to share our wins and our losses. And through all of that, that's how you grow as an agent. That's how you become better and stronger, because you know which property they offered on, how many offers that had, did they win, what was their offer structure. And if we can keep multiplying that, our job, as we say, is to be the local resource. And if you don't have insight into all these different mechanics of what's going on today in the market, it's really hard to win. And so Real has provided me an opportunity to manage a team. The old model would be like, I would need an office, I would need a whole payment structure and an accountant, and I'd probably need like a lawyer on retainer to make sure I'm doing everything right. Well, Real does all of that in the background. So I can really focus on training my agents, sharing my wins with the agents, teaching them what's helped me get my clients to the finish line, and ultimately just be there to support. So I'm on the phone with, already today I've talked to my agents twice each about something that's going on. And I've just found in order to be successful in this career, you have to talk through things, right? Because every deal is different.
100%.
Every financial situation is different. And so just having someone you can call and be like, just want to run this by you. Like, you know, we'll use this stupid example. My buyer is at Bill Dodge right now shopping for a car and we close tomorrow. What do you think I should do? Right. And it's like, whoa. I'm going to drive over there right now and pick him up and take him to Chick-fil-A because he should not be there. But, you know, because I think there's an assumption that when you're self-employed that you have to figure everything out on your own. And like, definitely not in this business, right? We're rewriting the rules kind of every day on how things should be done, especially now with this new world of real estate we're in. Having the legal resources and the understanding of very complex national politics to be whittled down to the point where we can understand it in a 60-minute video from someone who is in charge of everyone. I'm talking about Sharon, who's one of the most brilliant minds in real estate. It takes a lot of the stress of being a team lead off you from the compliance and legal standpoint, and really just allows you to focus on like, are we hitting our calls? Are we hitting our touch points? You know, why did that offer work? Why didn't it work? And like, what do we all need to do to grow this brand to serve our clients better? That was probably a long-winded way of saying like, Real allows us as a team to focus on our production.
Yeah, I'm just going to cut out everything you just said. I'll just put that one sentence in.
Just cut right to that. Yeah.
No, seriously, that was.
Hey, I want to let you know that if you are seriously considering joining Real, you can actually schedule a one-on-one Zoom call with me just by clicking the link right in the description below. I can answer any of your questions, any of your concerns. If you're seriously considering it, I would love to connect with you. Definitely schedule that call.
That was awesome, man. I love a number of the points you just made. Cool. You know, the national resources that we have. I know that, you know, my team is just myself and Susan and I. Susan is an amazing agent in her own right. You know, she easily could be a solo agent doing her own thing, but, you know, she loves the resources and support that she gets. But we just have such an incredible relationship at this point that, you know, we talk through deals, we commiserate over deals, we talk about the things that you're not going to call your client. You're probably not going to post on Instagram. You know,
exactly.
And you just need that support in this industry, especially at, you know, a brokerage, you know, like Real, where there isn't as many, you know, agents in our area to have that support, to have that team mentality is huge. Their national resources, amazing. Then as a team leader, some of the things that you're saying are really, really interesting to me. It sounds like, and I was thinking about this actually on my ride over, you know, oftentimes we think of people have the tendency to think of the team leader as the boss and the team members as the employees. The interesting thing is that in this situation, the employees are the one paying the boss. Right? Right? So technically you're not the boss. You know, you're actually the employee. You're the one who's coming underneath your team to make sure that they have the success, the support, the resources that they need, because actually at the end of the day, they're the ones paying you. Right? And so that's kind of, I was thinking about that this morning, and it's an incredible way to lead your team. It sounds like you guys are doing an incredible job of that. And as you're probably, you know, more involved as the leader in the systems, the processes, the technology, you know, what do you think about the technology that Real offers for teams?
It's incredible. I remember at my previous brokerage, you know, we had to wait to get paid every 2 weeks. You know, we always had to double check the accounting, right? Like, to me, like, getting paid on time when you deserve to be paid should never be a question or an issue or like an email, right? Like, if I'm closing the deal, I should just get paid that day. So having all of that accounting stuff handled by, you know, a massive piece of technology that was built exclusively for Real by employees of Real is amazing. And so if you just think about all the questions you get, let's say you're a solo agent, you have questions from your client about like, you know, what inspector should I call? Who do I write the EMD to? Where do I drop it off? What does the lender mean with this? What title company should I use? Like, we deal with a lot every day. We're in a service business, right? So if on top of that, you also have to deal with the nitty gritty of a business owner, you're not going to be able to sell any homes, right? You're going to be in the weeds every day, just making sure your team is operational. Whereas I can invite people to join my team and I could say, hey, do you want health insurance? Cool. Go sign up over here. Hey, do you want real estate coaching? Cool. Here are 3 resources I could give you for real estate coaching. Are you looking into getting a VA? Awesome. I can help you get that. Literally, and where I'm saying is like I can send them to one centralized website hub of information and connections so they have access to all this thing because of economies of scale. And then I can say, great, once that's all done, now you and I, we can like sit down, let's go through your goals. Let's talk about how we're going to get there, right? Do you have fitness goals? Do you have family goals? Do you have personal goals? You know, like that's the stuff I love. I'm definitely in this business to change lives because real estate has drastically changed my life for the better. I'm not saying it's perfect. I still have a lot to work on, but I've been able to see when you put in the work, what that can mean and what that can open up. And I've learned a lot in 5 years. It's been incredible. And I'm constantly adjusting lifestyles or like how we operate, right? But at the core, I haven't changed what I do in terms of the work and the lead generation to get my job done. And that's the part where I can be a team lead and just focus on that because all the outside stuff is handled by someone else.
Love it. Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that really impresses me about the technology is that it's simple, it's intuitive, and it's like literally right in front of you. To try to find out what deals my teammate members were doing was like always the hardest thing. I'd have to like, hey, how many do you have under contract? What is the deal? Then I'd have to research like literally all of your team, you know, is on your phone. So it's like you have it all there. All the transactions that every one of your agents has is there. Mm-hmm. How far along are they in their cap? You can check that out. How far along am I in my cap? You can check that out. The seamlessness, like the things that you feel like should be there but aren't. Like if you're at another brokerage hearing that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're thinking of 10 things right now. You're like, why does it take me so long to figure out what my cap is? You know, it's so simple and it's right there in front of you in the technology of Real. And what they offer for teams, I think is next level. And it streamlines everything. If you have an admin, you rarely will have to go in and do much of anything other than be able to look at your numbers super easily, which is essentially what I'm using it for now. Right. I love it. You know, what would you say to a team leader, talking to a team leader, right? They're on the fence. They're thinking about joining Real. They have some hesitations. Is this going to be a good fit for my team? What would you say to them?
I would say I always start with what problem are we trying to solve, right? Because I think it might not be the best fit for anyone. But if you're trying to solve an organizational problem with accounting, Real is going to be right for you because Real allows you as a team owner, you can customize any type of payment commission structure within your team that you want. And Real will, any split, right? Real will make that happen for you as a team lead to ensure that there's no tricky math. There's no guesswork, right? I would also say to a team lead, like, how many hours a week do you work on like training your team on various topics? And I would say like, okay, I'm going to pull up Real Academy, which is our internal training structure. And I think at this point, there are thousands of videos across every single topic within our business. Social media, Google My Business, how to balance a P&L, how to do commercial leases, how to crush it on YouTube like Cam. You know, all of those are out there. You can either you could just invite your whole team in once a week to watch one of those and buy pizza, right? And you've provided the opportunity and then you structure the conversation to promote growth. I would also ask a team lead, like, do you feel you have enough team leads in your life to bounce ideas off of, right? Because I could lead you to 7 right now across the country who have extremely helped me throughout my growth over the last year. Wow. And lastly, I'd say, like, do you feel you have the most competitive, like, payment structure in your market? Because I guarantee you it probably doesn't beat Real in terms of the 9 different ways you can make money. And I think if growing your team is of importance to you, Real is going to help do that just purely by how we're structured. And, you know, we're in this business to grow, whether that's our production, whether that's our community involvement, or whether that's our team size. And to me, growing it within Real's ecosystem is extremely easy based on what they've built for us.
Right. Yeah. One of the things you just mentioned is super interesting. And I think it led me to think about how at the previous company I was with, it's literally home to all of the large teams in our area.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, not all of the team leaders want to talk about what they're having success and failure with. Right? Why? Because you're the direct competition. I mean,
Got it.
we're all competing with each other at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things you mentioned is 7 team leaders throughout the country.
Yeah.
Like how much of an open book would I have to someone that I know is never going to try to sell a home in York, Maine, right? Versus someone that I know that I'm showing up to a listing appointment that they just left, right? So that collaboration, I think, exists in a much deeper way at a company like Real, where you're able to scale and feed off of really the most successful agents in the country that are all coming together to try to build something great.
Yeah.
I love it. I think you guys are doing an incredible job with your team.
Yeah.
And
thank you. Well, let me just, I want to emphasize the point you just made on collaboration, because that is maybe one of the second biggest differentiators from Real and other brokerages. And it's just that, like, we have these larger, companies, brokerages throughout the country, or, maybe in your small community, and there is so much inner competition, right? I have never once felt at Real competitive with another Real broker. Why? Because, like, if I'm supporting them and I'm their sponsor, I want them to go win that listing, because it's going to grow Real and it's going to be better for Real. The reason our president goes on YouTube to talk about the NAR settlement to anyone who wants to listen is because he knows if he shares his expertise with everyone, it's going to make our industry better.
Right.
If I do a video with someone in a different agency, it's because I want people to look at realtors as a whole as collaborative and encouraging people, right? And that's what has been so awesome about Real is, like, I've got my buddy Josh Cousineau up in the Lewiston Auburn market. Him and I talk every other week about our team structures and what we're doing. Do we go up there to do business? Absolutely. Does he come down here to do business? Absolutely. But you know what? Like, we're working together to grow our own businesses, and we're not worried about competing because there's enough business for everyone, but, like, the act of putting goodwill out into the world will come back to you. You just have to be willing to do that and not be competitive.
Yeah, 100%, man. Hey, man, thank you so much for joining me today. It was great having you on.
Thanks, Cam. Take care.